welcome to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Weisheit, licensed clinical social worker with Charitable and Home Care. Very glad you're joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it very, very much. And we always like to bring to you some updates, especially when we have some breaking news. We get that out of Morgan City as we welcome into the program Captain John with us, John Schaff. John, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So we were told a little bit, Captain John, about this situation. Tell us a little more about this arrest that was done for this child.
Yeah, around 2 o'clock this morning, our officers with the Morgan City Police Department responded to the area of Apple Street, which is in the north end of Morgan City, regarding an overdose. Officers arrived and learned of a 2-year-old child that was able to gain access to numerous THC gummies and ended up ingesting some, which eventually caused the medical event that took place with the child. The child was transported and is in stable condition to a local area hospital. Officers learned that the mother did have some THC gummies, and the child was able to gain the access. The further search of the residence produced marijuana, drug paraphernalia, and more THC products that ultimately led in the investigation. They ended up arresting her for second-degree cruelty to juveniles.
Yeah, and so we've identified that person as Rosazina Moore, 34 years of age. And again, like you mentioned, on Apple Street, we have her pictured here. And so it seemed like there was a little bit of a delay as well in maybe her trying to clean up some things prior to the report being made.
Yes, sir. Officers learned that there was up to over a 2-hour delay. According to the reports that they spoke with her, she stated after she noticed the gummies were gone and that her child had ingested them, she began to clean up. In her words, was that she was scared. And we were able to find the marijuana in multiple different places of the residence, which she delayed up to 2 hours in contacting medical services for her child, who I believe was having some different issues going on before she was brought to the hospital.
Wow. And so again, we see these lengthy charges of, as you mentioned, second-degree cruelty to the juvenile, but also failure to seek assistance. And that's kind of where that comes in, right? That she chose to kind of clean up a little bit prior to getting help for the child.
Yeah, look, in a situation like that, our main objective is to make sure that child, or anybody for that matter, is safe and getting the medical attention they need. And we'll deal with the other stuff afterwards. But we want people, we stress upon people that, something like this does happen, please contact medical services immediately so that they're as quick to get to the hospital to be treated for whatever's going on.
Yeah, we need to get a medical personnel making sure that child is doing as well as they can be. And as we know, when it comes to drugs, time is of the essence, because we don't really know how people react or respond to some foreign substance like marijuana to a child.
Definitely. And again, this was THC gummies.
Right.
They do have all kind of stuff out there with the drug trends that are changing daily. THC, they do have some levels of gummies, the Delta 8s, which are totally legal, and you could purchase that pretty much anywhere. And they also had Delta 9s, as long as THC levels are low enough than 0.3%. It is legal to possess, but you have to be 21 years of age, and you definitely did not want any children to get a hold of it.
Yeah. And so, again, we have some other charges. We let you know we're talking about the arrest of Miss Rosazina Moore, 34 years of age, of Apple Street, Morgan City, that was arrested earlier today, as Captain John Schaff is telling us, on second-degree cruelty to juveniles, failure to seek assistance, obstruction of justice, possession of marijuana, possession of drug paraphernalia, illegal use of CDS in the presence of juveniles, violation of uniform CDS law, drug-free zone, and a fugitive. And so, again, she's pictured here, and just wanting to let you know that the arrest has been made with regards to a child who accidentally ingested some THC gummies, and that we are following this. And I know we're going to continue to follow this story as we see, but we appreciate the fact that the child is at least in stable condition.
Yeah, very thankful that the child is in stable condition. The investigation is ongoing this morning by our Morgan City Police Department Detectives Division, and Child Services for the state of Louisiana is going to be contacted and has been contacted regarding this matter to follow up on any other type of situations they have involving these children.
Well, and you bring up a really good point. Anytime we have a child like that, and we've got to be able to look into the situation where the mother has to be arrested, Department of Child Services is very important. But also finding out that she had some outstanding and active warrants for an arrest through Thibodeau Police Department. One of the things I brag about all the time, as we've got about a minute left here in this segment, is that you guys do such a great job in your communication. Our parish to parish communication is outstanding. And maybe we can talk about a little bit about that, about how well y'all work together in these kinds of situations, Captain John.
Oh, definitely. Our law enforcement partners, especially with Chief Zarang at Thibodeau Police Department, we know each other very well. We all work together with Lafourche Parish and Terrebonne Parish, especially during carnival season. We assist each other with parades, and they help us out a lot. And we very much cherish the community, the law enforcement partnerships we have with the surrounding agencies in this area.
Very well, and I appreciate that. Well, once again, we appreciate your time. We thank you very much, and we appreciate some expedience in handling this situation with at least a positive outcome with the safety of the child right now being stable.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, and that will do it for this particular segment of Bayou Time. Don't go anywhere. A whole lot more right after the break.